So hello everyone and welcome to another video of my channel Smarter Everyday, and in this video we are going to learn again about the respiratory system. So in the previous video also we had seen the same topic. So this is going to be the second part of it, and here we are again with some more details on respiratory system. So let's start, but before starting don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. So now let's begin. So the topics covered in this video are mechanism of breathing, inhaled air and exhaled air, respiration, and a subtopic of it is mechanism of respiration, difference between breathing and respiration, and the last topic, that is respiratory diseases. So now let's move to the first topic, that is mechanism of breathing. So we breathe in by expanding our chest and breathe out by contracting it. So we have observed many times when we breathe in, the chest expands, and when we breathe out it becomes small, it contracts. So taking the air rich in oxygen into the lungs is called inhalation, and throwing out the air rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. So now let's see the mechanism of breathing, that is during inhalation what happens. So during inhalation the ribs move upwards and outwards, the diaphragm is pulled down or flattened by the contraction of the rib muscles and the diaphragm muscles respectively. So when we breathe in, the ribs, they move upward and out also. And the diaphragm, that is a muscle we had seen in the last video, that it is a muscle that forms the floor of the lungs, and it is normally in a dome shape, but when we breathe in it flattens, and when we breathe out of course it comes back to its normal position. So this will make the thoracic cavity large, and even the lungs being elastic also increase in size. And due to the increase in the volume of the chest, that is even called as thoracic cavity, and the lungs, the air pressure in the lungs decreases. So it is opposite. When the volume increases, space increases in the chest, the pressure decreases. And when the space in the chest decreases, the air pressure increases. So it is opposite. So don't get confused please. So then fresh air from the atmosphere having higher pressure rushes into the lungs through nostrils and air passages and fills them. And now during exhalation the ribs move downwards, opposite of course, and inwards, and the diaphragm moves up to return to its normal dome shape. As I told, it will return to its dome shaped by the relaxation of the rib muscles and the diaphragm muscles respectively. And then the volume of the chest decreases. So now you will guess, the lungs also being elastic will also decrease in size. And now due to decrease in the volume also, the air pressure will of course increase, and the air from the lungs is pushed out through the air passages and the nostrils. So this table over here will make it more clear. So during inhalation the diaphragm contracts and flattens. During exhalation diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome shaped. In inhalation volume of chest cavity increases, in exhalation of course it is opposite, it decreases. In inhalation lungs expand, in exhalation lungs contract. In inhalation air will go into the lungs, air flows into the lungs, but in exhalation air is forced out of the lungs. So this much was for the first topic. Now let's move to the next topic, that is inhaled air and exhaled air. So the air we inhale contains more oxygen and less carbon dioxide, while the air we exhale contains less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. It is opposite over here again. So this chart, this picture over here will tell it. So in inhaled air there is only 21% of oxygen and 0.04, that is very little, 0.04 percentage of carbon dioxide. And in exhaled air there is only 16% oxygen, so there is decrease in oxygen in inhaled air and in exhaled air. And the 0.04 carbon dioxide turns to 4.4 percentage carbon dioxide in exhaled air. So this table over here will make it more clear. So in inhaled air there is higher oxygen concentration, in exhaled there is lower oxygen concentration. In inhaled air there is lower carbon dioxide concentration, and in exhaled air there is higher, more carbon dioxide concentration. In inhaled air there is more dust particles, but in exhaled air it is less dust particles because the air is filtered. Now in inhaled air there is less moisture, in exhaled air there is more moisture, and inhaled air it comes from atmosphere, so it will be atmospheric temperature, and in exhaled air it will be body temperature. So now let's move to the next topic, that is respiration. So we eat food to get energy. The energy is stored in food molecules, that is in the form of glucose, and it is released when the molecules are broken down into the body cells with the help of oxygen. So this chemical process of breaking down of food molecules into simpler substances with the release of energy is called respiration. So this table over here, so we take in food, then it is digested into simple food molecule particles, then it is transported to the body cells, and between this step and this step, respiration takes place. And when respiration is take place, it is again broken down into more small particles with the release of energy. So this energy released is used to perform various daily life activities. So now let's move to the subtopic of respiration, that is mechanism of respiration. So in respiration there are two steps. First is external respiration and internal or cellular respiration. So first let's see the first step, that is external respiration. So in external respiration, blood flows to the lungs from the heart, and this blood contains carbon dioxide produced during respiration in the body cells. So this image shows us clearly that the carbon dioxide produced during respiration is taken from here, and the oxygen that comes from atmosphere is taken. So in this capillary carbon dioxide is given and oxygen is taken. So the blood in the capillaries around the alveoli. So this over here is alveoli, give off carbon dioxide through the capillary wall into the alveoli and take up. So they take up oxygen from the air in the alveoli. So oxygen combines with hemoglobin and then it forms oxyhemoglobin present in the red blood cells. So these are the red blood cells over here. Then this oxygenated blood is carried from the lungs to the heart, which supplies it further to the tissues and the body cells, where it is used for internal respiration, the second step of respiration. So now let's see it. So the exchange of gases between blood and body cells takes place. So here in external respiration, the exchange of gases takes place. And on reaching tissue cells, oxyhemoglobin, that is oxygen combined with hemoglobin, that acts as a carrier in red blood cells. So it acts as a carrier, releases oxygen into all the body cells. Then the released oxygen diffuses into the cells, and as the internal respiration takes place in the cells, it is also known as cellular respiration. So it takes place in all the body cells, so it is even called as cellular respiration. And then in the cells, oxygen reacts with glucose. So glucose is when the food is digested to the smallest particle, it is stored as glucose to produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. So this expression over here will tell it more clearly. So first, glucose plus oxygen, when it reacts, it releases carbon dioxide that is thrown out, water vapor and energy that is used for various daily life activities. So now let's move to the next topic, that is, it's not actually topic, sorry, it is of this respiration only. So now what happens to the carbon dioxide? It is transported and removed. So the carbon dioxide produced during cellular respiration is released from the cells during respiration. It will diffuse into the blood and is carried to the lungs, and there the carbon dioxide will leave the blood and it will go into the alveoli, and from there carbon dioxide is thrown out of the body as exhaled air. So now let's move to the next topic, that is the differences between breathing and respiration. So in first we'll see all the points of breathing and then we will see all the points of respiration. So in breathing is a mechanical process in which only there is exchange of gases, and breathing only occurs outside the cell in the lungs, and breathing is only pumping of air into and out of the lungs, and it only provides oxygen to body cells for respiration. So these both are independent. And in breathing, energy is used in breathing movements, and in breathing of course no enzymes are involved. Now let's see the points of respiration. So respiration is a biochemical or chemical process in which glucose molecules are broken down with the help of oxygen. It will occur within the cell. It involves the splitting of food, that is glucose, to release energy. It provides energy to body cells for various daily life activities. Here energy is released, but in breathing energy is used. So in respiration energy is released during respiration, and here of course there are many enzymes involved. Now let's move to the last topic, that is respiratory diseases. So a healthy person or all the person in the world can live without food or water for few days, for 2-3 days, but the same person cannot live for few minutes without air. So air is very important. So hence everyone should take good care of their respiratory system. So let's see the definition of respiratory diseases. So respiratory diseases are the diseases of the respiratory system or tract that may affect the organs that are related to breathing, that are nasal cavities, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi and the bronchioles, the tissues of the lung and the respiratory muscles of the rib cage. So the common symptoms of the respiratory diseases are a runny or stuffy nose, which may lead to blockage of the nose and cause you to breathe through your nose. So you can't breathe through your nose because it is blocked. So you'll have to breathe through your mouth. So coughing is there, fever, irritability, restlessness, poor appetite, means that no, I don't want to eat food, I'm not hungry, like that, and decreased activity level. So now let's see the ways to prevent these respiratory diseases. So first is you have to maintain proper hygiene. You have to keep your hands away from your nose, mouth and ears because they are only the way from where the germs can enter. Keep washing your hands regularly. You should avoid exposure to chemicals, and in the room you are in should be well ventilated, and you should exercise regularly. You should practice yoga and some breathing techniques, and you should get immunized each year to prevent respiratory diseases. Should get a shot of vaccine to prevent respiratory diseases. So guys, that's all for this video. I hope you all like this video. Thanks for watching everyone. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. We'll meet in the next video with some more information. Bye guys.